So let me just double check if we can kick it off. All right. So everybody, welcome to today's webinar on how to automate your entire prospecting workflow. Now, we're going to break down what automation means for you, for us, why it matters today more than ever, and how Lusha's 4 automation flows can completely change the way that you build pipelines today. And everybody here mentioned you want to automate stuff. Stay tuned, right? So let's start by looking at this at a very, very high level for a moment. Automation is important because it takes away all that repetitive manual work that slows our teams down. Now, Lusha built automation tools to make prospecting effortless for our users. And this means that you will spend less time, searching, clicking around, and more time focusing on what you like to do best. And that's, of course, being on calls, talking to customers, having meaningful conversations. But even more than that, it allows you to actually uncover new contacts or new companies and better yet, new opportunities that you might not have ever even thought about. So now you can close faster and you can scale smarter. One of our favorite sentences, scale faster. So here's what we're going to cover today. We'll start by talking about today's landscape and the reality that most of us are facing when it comes to prospecting. And we know that manual work is slowing us down and we're missing out on hot leads and the struggle of keeping your CRM clean and actionable. But of course, timing, right, is also important. It's really, really crucial. And we cannot afford to reach out either too early or, most importantly, too late. And from there, we'll move on into smarter prospecting. And this is where automation really comes into play, helping you stay ahead of key changes and allowing you to find the right contacts faster. So these systems will easily let you work while you sleep and connect you from A to Z. So after that, we'll jump into a live demo so you can see exactly how it looks like in action. And of course, we'll wrap it up with a Q&A session to answer any questions you might have. So by the end of the session, you'll walk away with a clear understanding of how automation fits in your day-to-day routines and how to use it to build a pipeline that actually moves forward. So my name is Tal. You haven't met me before in the previous webinars and on the Academy page. And I'm part of the customer success team, and I'll be the host for today. And with me, we have Sharon, our lead project manager. Both of us are here to help you guys fully understand how to automate your workflows and to take prospecting journeys to the next level. Now, in my role as part of the customer success team, I talk to customers every single day. I hear the pain points and I hear the frustration and the roadblocks that you guys run into all the time. So part of my job is to bring that feedback straight back to the product team so we can build solutions that actually make a difference for you guys. And that's where Sharon comes in. On the product side, she takes all that feedback from us, from the customer success team, and she turns it into a practical, and actionable feature. And that will allow you, of course, and we love to say this, work smarter, streamline your process, and prospect with confidence. That's a new one. So let's review the challenges that we all face today, whether you're in sales, whether you're in marketing or in RevOps. We're all dealing with the same roadblocks, and that's things that are slowing us down. So we all know it. We all know it the best. Everyone here knows it all the time. We're spending hours searching. We're spending hours uploading lists to systems, updating CRMs. We're sending manual emails, sorry. And at the end of the day, we're drained. We're exhausted. We had enough. No energy for anything else. But our pipeline hasn't moved forward as much as we wanted it to. And this is a reality for most of the team members. The more time, like I said, you're spending on digging for leads is the less time you have actually selling. And that's not why you got into sales. I didn't get into sales years ago. I'm in customer success today, but I did start in sales part of the SDR world. But, that was a really big chunk of my work, finding. Let me get on a call. Let me talk to people. So the manual work is slowing the team down. By the time you've built a list, the data's already gone stale. You've missed out on opportunities. These happen when we don't have real-time updates. And by the time we're ready to engage, the moment has already passed. We missed it. Data hygiene for the RevOps. If anybody hears from RevOps, keeping your CRM data clean and actionable is really tough. And bad leads or bad data leads lead to bad decisions. We all know that. And finally, we also want to scale with our outreach. And when outreach is delayed, conversation rates drop. So again, timing is everything. And if we don't act fast, we're going to lose the momentum. So when we talk about automation, this is the why. It's not about taking work away from people. It's about giving you time back to actually focus on the conversations that actually matter. Excuse me. Excuse me. All right. So introducing smarter prospecting. And here we will go over the 4 ways to streamline everything in your prospecting journey. Now, why are we here and why it doesn't matter? So we will never miss another hot lead again because we have real-time alerts. You'll always be the first to know when top matching contacts or companies, of course, match your ICP. And the system is going to scout for you in the background so nothing actually slips through the cracks. Now, instead of running the same exact search and doing all that manual work, of course, you come back to prospect, you go and you just set it once and you let the automation take over for you. And you can, like I said, spend more time on actually, prospecting and having less time prospecting and having more meaningful conversations. React instantly to buying signals like leadership changes, funding rounds, and of course, intent data, our favorite. The moment those signals are going to appear, Lusha will jump in at exactly the right time and will surface them for you. Now, what I just mentioned is the most important one because you're subscribing to an exact type of search with the exact kind of criteria. We're going to talk about this in a moment, more in depth at least, but really, really important, one of my favorites. We have AI who's going to feed you a steady flow of high fit prospects. Your pipeline is going to always be alive, right? And always relevant. And you can, of course, uncover hidden opportunities that Lusha will surface, like I said, relevant prospects, relevant accounts that have never been considered in the past. So we're also helping you out to, enlighten you a little bit more about what also makes sense. Okay, so today, Lusha offers you 4 features that allow you to automate your workflow, and let's break them down one by one, bit by bit. So subscribe to search is where you're going to stop running the same exact search over and over again. Now, if you're a Lusha user, you're familiar with this, you go back to your saved search. If you're, just getting started, this is what basically happens until today. So you go back and you run the same search again and again. But today, you just set it once, and the system is going to continue to provide you with the most relevant and top matching prospects and companies. You're going to have the AI similar contacts. And now, if you find a couple of good contacts that are a good fit for you, even companies, by the way, you don't have to go and hunt them anymore. The AI Lusha systems will now understand what you're looking for and is going to feed you in your list prospects that are going to match that kind of persona, that kind of company, basically lookalike prospects and lookalike companies. So again, we're going to point you out to where you might not have considered looking before. Auto sequence. This is where it all comes together, by the way, and is my second favorite feature. Your prospects don't just sit in a list, and they're not just waiting for you to go and take action. They are going to be pushed straight into your outreach sequence right in the platform. And that means you're engaging right away with 0 delays. And of course, you have the auto export, which will be coming out soon. But just to let you know, as soon as new prospects are added, kind of like the sequence, instead of the sequence, they're going to go into your CRM. It's clean. It's sorry. It's clean, it's instant, and it's always up to date, exactly where you need it. Bear with me. Now, I want to take a moment to point out how to create the perfect process before we go into live demonstration. And I'm going to break it down into 3 different steps. So step 1, and this is just the happy path. It's all going to make sense, and then you'll see how they're all connected. So step 1 is going to subscribe to a search. You start by creating a filter that's built around your exact persona. Now, this isn't just a search. This is your ICP defined, exactly what you need. And let's call this list VP level with intent plus funding, or VP level plus intent plus funding, just for example, right? I'm going to paint the picture for you in a second. So you have that subscribe to list named that or whatever it might be. Step 2, go and create a list and name it in the same way, VP level, intent, and funding. we have the same persona and the same definition, and all these are added into your list. So when new contacts come in and they match the criteria, they're going to be added into that list. Step 3, also important, this is a connection. Create a sequence. And same here, use the same kind of name for the sequence, VP level, intent, and funding. And now the message in the email is going to sync with the relevant type of persona, and it will look super personalized for them. So if you want them in your CRM, you can even go ahead and put them into your CRM. Maybe push them to Outreach, where you also have like email automation in there, or SalesLoft also has email automations. But again, that's how you define it. I mean, of course, you don't have to take all the steps in that way, but if you want to have like a happy path, that's how it all makes sense, from adding contacts with a persona to a list that has new contacts being added to it to a sequence that matches, right, that type of persona. So now what do we have? A subscribed search pulling the right people inside of it, a list that's organizing them with the key details, and a sequence where that persona automatically flows into a targeted outreach, and they get the impression that this is a tailored email just for them. So that's the workflow. It's super clear, and it's all connected. I see people are raising their hand. Please feel free to drop in the Q&A part if you want to ask any kind of questions. Of course, you have the chat, but I think if you have like a good question, maybe you want to pop up on the Q&A part, drop it in the Q&A. 1 second. Excuse me. I got a nasty cough. By the way, I didn't mention this. So here's the beauty part. So, right, we just did one area. That was one type of persona, but go ahead and copy paste that right now. Once you've done that, go and repeat the same kind of process with a different kind of persona, different kind of company. So if you have intent and funding, you can have job alerts and funding, you can have technologies and funding, right? So just, have those 3 steps, name those lists accordingly, name those sequences accordingly, and go and connect all the dots. Okay, so now before we jump into Sharon's demo, before we jump into Sharon's demo, let's take a step back and look at some other real use cases that make automation valuable for us. So first, signal-based prospecting. This is the most important one, and here's a classic one for you. Your ICP is 6 months into a new role, or better yet, maybe they're looking into a company that recently got funded. That's just one signal, but why stop there? Stack them inside. Stack them all together if you want to. Add in funding, add in intent, add in job changes, add in technologies. Now, the more filters you use, the lists will be less with results, because you're going crazy with a lot of filters if you slap on locations and industries. But find that right the sweet spot for you, right? So slap on a couple of signals with a company filters and the ICP information as well. And what you got now is not a cold call or a cold email. It's perfect timing with a real reason. So now on the other side, you also have cases where you have too many results. And you can run a search, and suddenly you've got hundreds, maybe even thousands of names on there, and no one has the time to go through that manually. So automation is going to step in, not just to just slap on a huge list of contacts for you, but to actually neatly drip feed the most relevant contacts over time for you. Now, if you've ever built a super tight list before, super focused persona, results won't be crazy, perhaps, but you have them on hand exactly when and exactly where you need them. So even if you're really, really targeted, don't have to go back and spend the time again. So don't go back. All you have to do is basically, and this is my favorite saying about what Lusha offers you today, is just come back to the system or go back to your email to see who actually replied to your email. Those are the people who want to talk to you. All right. So about 20 minutes ago, I said that Sharon will paint the picture for us. I've been talking for 20 minutes almost. Sharon's going to walk us through a live demo so you guys can see how it actually works in practice today. So Sharon, feel free. The floor is yours. I'll stop showing now.
Great. Thanks, Del, and hi, everyone. I'll share my screen. Great. So I'm very happy to walk you through today Lusha's latest automated prospecting capabilities, which were designed to save you time and to scale your outreach. Now let's start with a familiar scenario. Until now, the typical prospecting flow meant running the same search again and again. It meant applying those filters, selecting contacts, revealing their details, saving them to a list, and then pushing them to a CRM or to a sequence. So this works, but it's manual, it's repetitive, and it's time-consuming. And this is where our automations come in. Within the same search I'm in, and basically in any search within prospecting, I can now click on the subscribe button. I can select the number of contacts I want to get, daily or weekly, and the list I want them to be delivered to. It can be one of my existing lists or a new list. One moment. Okay. Once I apply this automation, I don't need to go back to this list anymore. From now on, I will start getting my top matching contacts directly to the list I selected. You can see here on the left-hand side that for any list that I created in automation, I will now have a green lightning icon that mentions that those automations are active and running. So for that subscription that I created, I can expect to start receiving contacts as of tomorrow. Now I'll go to a list that has previously created automations. Within this list, we can see the similar contacts panel. As opposed to the subscription where I set the subscription automation, where I set the exact criteria for those contacts that will be added to the list, these contacts are such that are similar to those contacts that are already in the list. We can add them one by one, or in bulk. We can click to regenerate and get fresh contacts. And lastly, we can automate and set this to run daily or weekly, and possibly also to auto-reveal emails or phones. Great. So now that we've seen the two ways to automatically grow your list with new contacts, let's see how those contacts appear in the list. We can see that these newly added contacts have a green indication on the left-hand side, as well as a source column that's indicating the automation that triggered this contact into the list. You can also filter by the source to see just those sources that interest you. So now I'll set up my last two automations. Within the same list, I'll click the CRM button. I'll select only new contacts. I'll select my CRM platform and how I want those contacts to be exported. And from now on, any new contacts that are added to the list will just flow into my CRM automatically. Similarly, I'll click the sequence button. And similarly, I'll click, sorry, I guess I have already an automation added to the sequence here in this list. But similarly, we can select to create only new contacts and add them to a sequence. And once I'll complete this and activate this automation, my prospecting flow will be automated end to end. Lastly, I can click the subscription panel, and from here I can adjust any of the settings of any of the automations that are linked to this specific list. That's a wrap from my end. I hope you find these features useful and that you set up your automations very soon. And now I'll hand it back over to Tal. Thank you.
All right, cool. Sharon, thanks so much for the demo. Let me just make sure I share my screen so I don't forget. Actually, Sharon, can you stop 1 second to share, and then I'll just make sure that I don't do anything wrong. Thank you. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so Sharon, again, thank you so much for the demo. Guys, now that we know what to do, we can take action. And it's funny how I felt like I was talking about this on and on and on, and you clearly just saying how easy it was to just go and activate the subscription and the list and the push to sequence. So it's super simple. And I said a lot of things, but it's easy to understand and it's super simple to create. So perfect. Now let's go into the Q&A part. So feel free, if anybody hasn't yet, I mean, I see a few questions here, of course, but feel free to drop in questions both in chat, both in the Q&A section as well. Let me just take a look at the questions. Okay. Okay, I'm going to start with this one. I said it, and I want to emphasize it again, so it's good. So someone's asking, what's the what's the best practice to start with automation? And that was those three steps that I mentioned before. You first go and create a subscribe to search query where you define the persona, you define the company details and any kind of signals that matter to you. So you have the side panel and you plug in the filters that you need, everything that's important for you. Again, the more filters you add, the more tight your list is going to get. But if it makes sense, it makes sense, right? So you can broaden it a bit, remove some filters. If you're going crazy targeted, you will get less results, but it's more targeted, right? It's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. So create those filters, name it clearly, right? That's the first step. Give it a nice name that defines that ICP or company criteria. Second, sorry, I'm just going to stop in a second. I see a guy named Chris raising his hand. Chris, feel free to jump in the question Q&A. Um, Second step is to take those results and add them to a list. That list is going to have the same name, like I explained before. And then third, build a sequence that also has that same name, and the email template around that, right? You're going to have like hi first name, your title is, the company is, intent. You'll have keywords in there, and a structure that when that person sees that email, it's relevant to them. You can congratulate them on the new job change, on the recent funding, kudos, great achievement, right? So everything, it's there's a couple of steps to take there, but once it just streamlines into the sequence from Lusha creating contacts for you automatically into your sequence, that's it. It all looks like it's tailored exactly for that person. Um, so yeah, it keeps everything organized and clear and sets you from A to Z. So good question on that. I like that one. How many subscriptions, how many subscriptions does each user get? So each user gets 5 subscriptions. Even if you're on a plan of, multiple users, you individually get 5 to actually subscribe to. So no one's taking from anybody else's searches. You have 5 individually. Okay. Are credits being used when I subscribe to or export to a sequence? Okay. So good question. It comes up a lot, even in between. So credits are basically used, or so basically, I'll put it this way: no credits aren't used when you create a subscription, subscribe to a search, you export to your sequence or to your CRM. At the moment, at least, right, as of this recording and this session. But credits are basically used when you go and reveal data points. When you go and collect the phone number and the email of the prospect, that's when you actually go and consume credits. So that can be either you manually going and clicking, one by one, or clicking on multiple contacts and clicking on show details, or and this is another option if you allow Lusha to do that for you, because remember that Lusha can add contacts to you into a list. And then when you want to go and push them into a sequence, you're going to have to use credits, right? Because you have to go and get that email from that person. So Lucia now has the permission to go and consume credits on your behalf, according to what you define. If it's 10, 25, 50, 100, I forgot the numbers exactly, but you can go and define it weekly, daily, and give Lucia the exact amount of credits that you want to use. So good. Yeah, it's good that we pointed that out. And just to recap, no credits are not used on the platform services at the moment. At the moment, it's just when you go and reveal data points on that prospect. Okay, this is a good one. What's the what's the main difference between subscriptions and AI similar contacts? So it's a really good question. And to be honest, Maya is on the call, and I even asked her a couple of times when we started to release this feature, and I'm like, I'm not quite sure. I don't really, I mean, I get it, but I don't really get it. So it's a good question that you raised it. So the subscribe to a search is fully controlled by you. You go and set those filters. You go and decide what kind of persona you want inside there. It's going to match the exact company criteria or company criteria. But the difference is that the air recommendations and live lists basically are a little bit different. They surface lookalikes, like lookalike accounts or lookalike contacts, people that you might not have even thought about. So it's not in a way like a strict filter match. It's more broader. So let's put it this way. Subscriptions are aligned with the exact keyword, the exact search that is controlled by you. You created that search. It's going to be no, like it's not going to pass the barriers there. Where recommendations is more like, you can put it in this way of discovery and expansion with the help of Lusha. So Lusha steps in and gives you ideas of contacts companies that might also be a good match for you. And again, you haven't even thought about them. So here's another kudos for Lusha to help you out with your prospecting journeys. Great questions. Let me see what else we have here. Feel free, guys, in the chat or in the Q&As if we have enough time. And if not, by the way, if it could be that we might not be able to get into all the questions. You have our support team available for you at any given time. Support@lusha.com. Feel free. Let me see what else we have here. Bear with me, guys, just making sure that I'm looking at the right questions because some are being answered by Shevin, some by Maya, and a few more team members. I see there's a question by Michael. Can Lucia interface with CRM Capsule? Not at the moment, Michael, but there are CRMs that we connect with. You can see them on the platform, the integration side, but you do have the option to easily go and ask for integration. And, as you might expect, the more customers asking for certain integrations, the faster we can get there. So go ahead, uh, ask the team, ask the family, ask anybody who know to go into Lucia and ask for Capsule, and then we'll get we'll get there faster. I'm also seeing a lot of questions that are kind of off topic, which we would love to answer them, of course, but we just want to make sure that we're focusing on the agenda of today's session, which is around automations. So, feel free again, either ask support or if you have any other contact, maybe at Lucia. And also good to point out that the recording is going to be shared with you, I believe, also after this, like into your email after the session. It will also be, excuse me, one second. It will also be available on our webinar page with all the previous recordings that we had, previous sessions that we had in the past. Make sure to look at them as well. But yeah, it's going to be available for you, and I believe also on YouTube, our YouTube channel. Hearing that I'm not being heard so well. Am I okay now? All right, perfect. Thank you. Question by Benjamin. So, do you plan to identify personal versus professional phone numbers at some point? So, yes, Lucia has an indication for you. You can see if the mobile is either set as mobile, which is it's a cell phone, right? And it's most likely a personal cell phone. And you have, which by the way, I mean personal and business related cell phone, but it's a cell phone. And then you have the direct, which is going to be most likely an extension, not to the HQ. We hardly have any HQ numbers. That's, who calls HQ numbers today. But yeah, it's most likely going to be like an extension. So dial 123 directly to reach out to Sharon, for example. A good question. Is mailing something that happens outside of Lucia, or can it be done within the platform? Okay, so good question. Basically, yeah, you have two options today. So Lucia's sequencing platform, Engage, is an email sequencing template or area that you go and create email one, which can be sent on day one, email two sent on day three, and email three sent on day five, for example, right? You can create and go crazy with this, but you define the email structures, and then you go within the platform, you go and find contacts from Lucia, and you go and send them, excuse me, into the sequence, into the Engage platform, into the sequences. But yes, it's all in-house today, literally from A all the way to Z, all in-house. You just wait for the reply and you're actually working while you're sleeping. I love saying that. So in-house, yes, inside Lucia, but also externally, right? So we also integrate with tools like HubSpot, which has an email sequencing platform inside. You have tools like SalesLoft and Outreach, which are the same thing like the sequencing platform that Lucia has, Engage, where you like this is a company that is built off this idea where they have these sequences, cadences called also. And yeah, you can go and exploit them directly into those cadences or those sequences, but same also in-house. So if you prefer, stay in an in-house in our platform, and it's really from A to Z. 1 second. So there's a question here, how does buying intent work for automating the process? Um, I'm not quite sure what that means, but let me kind of, maybe explain a bit more about that in the way I see the question. So buying intent is important, right? Because these are in-market buyers. These are companies that are looking for your services. Lucia has the option to let you know which companies in certain industries, locations, whatever it might be, have been searching for your kind of services. Have they been looking for you necessarily, but they're looking for your services. So, for example, if I'm a BDR doing outbound or whatever it might be at Lucia, and I'm going to go and add into my intent area lead generation, data intelligence, right? People looking for Lucia services. So that's first of all the intent area, powerful enough. That's already going to take you to the next step. They're in market buyers, they're relevant. Now is the time to talk to them. The automation comes to place, and here is where you basically find or you create a subscription to that kind of search, and your list gets automatically populated with companies that are also in the market for your services. So before the subscribe to list or the live list, even for example, was available, you would have to go back in that search, go take a look again. If let's say you had let's say you did a search today and you had 400 companies in the market, depends on how, high you want to go, thousands or a couple of hundred or even dozens, and you have intent companies in the market. Let's keep it small numbers, right? 100 companies today. Tomorrow you're going to have 120, for example. Who were those 20? Did they come in, nice and neat on the bottom? Not necessarily. So the automation today is letting you take that filter that you wanted, those intent companies, and they're going to be dripped into your list automatically. You go back into that list and say, okay, so today Lucia added for me 10 companies. Great. Here are the companies. Now I'm going to go find my ICP within those companies. And then you find the ICP within those companies and you go and push them into a sequence around, the definition of why you're reaching out to them. Oh, hey, I see that you're also in the market. You're in the market for for example, right? I haven't done sales in a very long time. You're in the market for our services. Oh, by the way, congratulations on your new role. I see that you started over the past 6 months. Whatever it might be, you can combine and go crazy with this. So there's a lot of powerful stuff here. So I mean, the automation is letting Lucia let you know, Bob, Sarah, David, whoever it might be. Today you have another 10 companies that are in the market for your services. Fresh data relevant to you. Go pick up the call. Go pick up the phone. Um, what else do we have here? A good question. One second, I'm going over some questions. So there's a question here from Farouk. I'm mostly interested by getting notification of job changes of people that are in my CRM. How does it work with Lucia? So I guess, actually, I'm not sure if I'm how to actually uh answer this because we have some CRM integrations coming in uh soon based off of your recent activity and search or contacts in your CRM. But let's put that aside yet because it's still being baked. But what I would advise you, it's just, one manual step is just to export those contacts, right, from your CRM and then upload them into Lucia. And then you can from there, kind of create some filters because you already have those contacts inside waiting for you. So you can kind of play with them after that. Oh, that makes sense. But it's a good question, but I think for maybe wait a bit more because we're going to have some interesting sites for the CRM integration. Okay, good question here. Let me just read it again. So can you make these automations and lists shared with the team? Like as an admin, I want to create lists on branches that I import to our CRM and link them to the right account manager. But also, I want the account managers to be able to manually add people to them as well. Is that possible? So yeah, so today the list fairly recent. Lists can be private or public. So as long as you go the team member, let's say the one who started or you started it, if you as an admin, you define it as a private list, it won't be available. So you can go ahead and change it go inside the list icon there somewhere to change it to public. And then from there, the team members will be able to see it. And also they will be able to add contacts manually. But if I'm not mistaken, Sharon, they can't implement, make a change to that list itself. So they can just go and, drip if they want individually to that list but not make a change to, yeah, the list itself. So I hope that answers your question. Um, so it's a yes. Just make sure that the list is public. We had some good questions today. Okay, cool. So I think that's it. Nice. Very nice. Okay, guys. So that wraps up today's session. We've walked you through all the challenges that holds teams back from all that manual work. Sharon has now showed you how you can actually automate everything on your end. And now it's your turn. So go and subscribe to a search, like we said, to never miss out on a new lead. Use the AI similar contacts to get lookalike contacts and companies that match that kind of criteria, which is going to help you to kind of think out of the box that also might make sense for you. Go ahead and auto export them directly into your CRM. And what I miss? Oh, and go and push them into the Engage platform within the platform, right? Don't even leave it. So these are the 4 outbound signals that will allow you to level up your game, prospect faster, work smarter, work with confidence. And we would love to hear you, you know, hear your feedback on this and how you guys have implemented this into your day-to-day routines. Just another reminder before you guys drop off, we are going to send this recording to you afterwards to your email, if I'm not mistaken. Also will be available on our webinar page and our YouTube page. So feel free to go and grab another look at that, send it to your team members as well. Uh, I want to thank Sharon for helping us out, leading the demo, to our marketing team for pulling everything together, and everyone behind the scenes who helped us out today. And most importantly, for you guys all here today who took the time to learn about how to level up the game, how to use automation today, how to step away from all that clicking and moving around with the mouse all the time. Just set it, forget it, let it roll, and talk to the customers that want to talk to you. So until next time, keep your pipeline alive, stay ahead of the signals, and let the automation do the heavy lifting for you. So happy prospecting, everybody. Smash your goals, and best of luck. Bye, everybody. Thanks so much. You're welcome. You're welcome, David, Lucy, Andrew. More than welcome. Hope you enjoyed it. Giovanni, Zach. My middle name is Zach. Zachary. Now you guys, Chevron, now you know that. Maya, now you know that too.
Yeah, that's a first. Mhm.
Emily, you're welcome. Thomas with a Z at the end. Thomas. I don't know. My kid's name is Tom. Zach, yep. Zachary. My grandpa's name. Cool. So everybody, thank you so much for joining. And it really, it's good they took the time to learn how to really level up the game. All right. All right. I think we're going to jump off, everybody. So God bless. Happy prospecting.